Good morning, pond lovers. How are we all today? Today we are talking about bicarbonate soda, and there's a very good reason for that. We have had one of the wettest winters in Peterborough. I've picked a nice sunny day though, so today I'm out with a camera and I'm going to talk to you about bicarbonate soda and why we use it in koi ponds. Now, there are other products on the market. There's KH buffers and lots of other pH buffers and things like that you can buy from pond shops and koi shops, but they have a lot of koi tax and they become quite expensive. What I buy is whatever is the cheapest on Amazon at the time. Food grade bicarbonate of soda, and this stuff in a koi pond is absolutely fantastic, and I'm going to show you why, and we're going to do some tests. What does bicarbonate soda do to a koi pond? Well, it increases alkalinity, increases KH, and in return that buffers against pH swings, which is never a good thing in a pond. Koi do not like pH swings, and by buffering KH, what that means is it increases it. And what does having a low KH mean? It means the pH can rapidly drop or crash, and in result that can harm or even kill fish, obviously including koi. So by adding bicarbonate of soda and increasing the KH, that gives the pH a stability normally between 7 and 8.5. So this is what I'm going to be doing today. I'm not going to be adding it all in one go, obviously. Google recommends 100 grams per 1,000 gallons, so 4,500 and whatever it is litres. I tend not to measure it because I've been using it for at least the last 6 years. Work out the volume of your pond and add it accordingly, bit by bit, day by day. Don't just go in and say, oh, my pond's at 0, I need to add bucket loads and take it back up to 6-7 kH. You don't want to be doing that. Bit by bit, increase it gradually. What I have been doing this winter is after a massive downpour, as soon as it dries up, I go out and I top it up a bit, just to make sure I don't hit that 0 kH. So yeah, I have here now my little test jar. So we are going to prove the concept. I'm going to take 5 ml of water from the pond, and we'll test the pond water quickly. Tiny bit too much. There we go. So 5 ml of pond water. Carbonate hardness test. See if I can get this open nice and easy, which makes a nice change. So first drip should turn the water blue. Which it does, and then you have to count the drips with the Colombo one. Some tests are slightly different, but you now have to count the drips until it turns yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oh, nearly 7, whoa, almost 8. There you go. It's probably 8.5, and now it's bright yellow, as you can see there. So my pond is currently 8.5. It was at 2 last week, but as I've been adding a bit of bicarbonate soda every day, just a little bit every day, I've managed to bring it from 2, which it was set at last weekend, now back up to 8, even with all the rain we've been having. So why does rain affect the koi pond? Now what I have here a jug full of rainwater. So here's my jug full of rainwater from my bucket down at the garden. Again, 5 ml of rainwater, and as we've just seen, this should turn blue with a first drip. but it doesn't. It turns straight to yellow. In fact, it's not even gone that yellow because there is literally no KH at all, zero. We'll add in one extra drip just to prove the point. No KH at all in rainwater, which that is why rain lowers your KH, and in return that lowers your pH, and you lose your alkalinity, and everything can go to pot. So why am I making this video? One of my customers from a couple of years ago rang me up and basically said that all their fish, they've unfortunately just lost one, but all their fish are acting not normal at all. Not flicking, not flashing, but her pond was down to sort of 6 degrees, and they were all just bobbing along at the surface, where she said normally this time of year and this temperature they're normally all hunkered down relaxing on the bottom. So she asked if I could go out and investigate, to which I did, and instantly discovered that was the issue. She'd been doing what a lot of people do, emptying some water out the ponds, and the rain keeps filling it back up, and so on and so on. Her pond was running like the rainwater at 0 kH, so my guess was she'd had a pH swing. Her pH was extremely low, way below 6, about 5 I think it was, so I recommended the same thing. But I'm going to do one more test just to show you how quickly and instantly bicarbonate soda actually affects and helps. So here's my rainwater. We've just seen that. Here's a teaspoon. Don't need too much, but nearly got wet. So 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate soda in rainwater, which was way below 0. So that's now all pretty much mixed in. There's a tiny little bit still floating about, but that was about half a teaspoon. So again, 5 ml. That's 10. There we go, 5 ml of that. So bear in mind this rainwater had 0 kH. I've put the blimmin' bottle away. So rainwater with half a teaspoon of bicarbonate soda in 250 mils of water. It no longer turns yellow, it's gone blue. So we now count the drips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now it's very blue. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And we're still blue. Now I'm not going to waste the rest of my KH. That would normally, I did this experiment the other day, about 35 drops. It took me last time I did that. So that is why after a bit of rain I add a tiny bit of bicarb to the pond. As I say, you don't need a lot, you really don't. A teaspoon has just turned 250 ml into about 35 kH or more. So what I normally do with my pond, because it is around 3,000 gallons, just less than, which they say 100 grams per 1,000 gallons, what I normally do is get a small cup, small coffee cup, and put that in there. Now I haven't ever weighed that, and that is what I have been doing, and that's what changed my pond. Over the course of a week I've added 2.5 cups maybe, and that's what's taken it from 2 kH up to 8 kH. Now I don't like to have it that high throughout the summer, just putting the old Colombo test kit away, around 8 kH, because fish do do like a low KH, but a low KH can mean pH swings, and a low KH can also interfere with treatments, because a fair few treatments strip KH out of the water as well. I know off the top of my head Alparex actually states on the box must have a KH of 6 or above to use the treatment. So it is recommended, or I recommend over winter, to keep it at around 6 if you can, because you're not going to get any pH swings after a big downpour. After a very big downpour, I would come out. If I'm worried, I would test the water for KH and pH, and if either one of those is low, then I add another half a cup of bicarbonate soda just to bring it back up. Now, half a cup in my pond normally raises the KH by about 3, half a cup, which is why I don't go all guns blazing and take it from 0 to 8 overnight, little by little. Although there is about half a teaspoon of bicarbonate soda, just knock my jar over, in this jug, so waste not, want not. We pop it in the pond. So yeah, bicarbonate soda is a fantastic way. Now this is a very heavy bucket, and it is 12.5 kilos. Now the KH buffers and pH buffers that you can get in koi shops, I don't know how much they are, to be honest, but I think the last time I bought one it was about $18.99 for 1 kilo, I think. Don't quote me on that, but around there. Now I've just got 12.5 kilo here, and I've also got 12.5 kilo identical bucket in the filter house. 25 kilos just cost me 50 quid. Now if 1 kilo is $18.99, to get 25 kilos of that, I'm not going to do the maths, but it's a lot of money. 25 times $18.99. If anyone wants to put that down in the comments, feel free. But it's a lot of money, whereas 50 quid for this is going to last me all this winter, all throughout the summer, and I'll probably still have a little bit left over for this time next year. So you don't have to obviously buy 25 kilos. They even sell 5 kilo tubs, 2.5 kilo tubs, but obviously the more bulk you buy, the cheaper it is, and we like to save money. Talking about money, still a massive thank you to everyone that's bought one of these hats and the little car air fresheners. Because of you, I've now spent that money. That money has been invested in a new float switch for the main pond and some pipe work to connect it in. So everyone that has supported the channel by buying one of these or the car air fresheners, massive thank you. You've just bought me the float switch and pipeline. The float switch has arrived, but the pipe isn't due until tomorrow. So that'll be the next video. I'm going to be fitting that onto the pond. Massive thank you to everybody out there. So I hope you all have a fantastic Christmas and a happy new year if I don't see you before then. So on that note, guys, thanks all for watching. Like the video if you haven't already, and we'll catch you on the next one.